Have you ever said something out loud, something simple and honest, and watched a younger person look at you like you had just discovered a secret of the universe? That moment was not an accident. That was wisdom speaking, quietly, without needing anyone's approval. And if certain truths have started to feel more true to you with every passing year, truths that once seemed unclear or even foolish when you were young, then something important has been happening inside you all along. By the time we reach 70, we have lived through enough joy and enough hardship to know what actually matters and what never did. This is not something that can be taught in a classroom or read in a book. It is earned, slowly, through years of showing up for life. So if certain thoughts now feel like quiet certainties rather than confusing questions, that is not a small thing. That is your wisdom finally settling into place, ready to be trusted. Sign number 1. You no longer need everyone to like you. There was a time when disapproval could ruin an entire day. A raised eyebrow, a cold response, a friend who seemed distant, and the mind would spin for hours trying to understand what went wrong. But somewhere along the way, that grip loosened. Now, if someone does not understand you or does not appreciate you, it simply does not carry the same weight anymore. You have learned that your worth was never something other people were in charge of deciding. This is not coldness, and it is not giving up on people. It is simply the quiet confidence that comes from finally knowing yourself well enough to stop asking for permission to be who you are. And once that shift happens, it never fully reverses, because peace like that is not easily traded away again. Sign number 2. You understand that slow mornings are not wasted mornings. There was likely a season of life when mornings were a race, alarms, deadlines, other people's needs pulling you in every direction before your feet even touched the floor. But now, if a morning unfolds slowly, with quiet tea and the sound of birds outside the window, it does not feel like laziness. It feels like a gift you finally gave yourself permission to accept. You have come to understand that rest is not something you need to earn through exhaustion. Sitting still with your own thoughts, watching the light change through the curtains, is enough. This understanding did not come naturally when you were younger, because busyness once felt like proof of a life well lived. Now you know that presence, not speed, is what a well-lived life actually looks like. Before we move on, I want to ask you a gentle question. What is one truth about life that only started to make real sense to you after you turned 70? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and if this video is helping you, please like it, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the Wisdom Vault. Also, please watch until the very end, because the points ahead are just as important and may truly make a difference in your life. Sign number 3. You have stopped confusing busy with important. For most of your life, a full calendar probably felt like a badge of honor, proof that you mattered, proof that you were needed. But now, if a quiet afternoon with nothing scheduled feels peaceful instead of alarming, that is a sign of real growth. You have learned that importance was never about how many places you had to be. It was about how fully you were present in the place you already were. A single unhurried conversation with someone you love now feels more valuable than an entire week of rushing between obligations. This is not a loss of ambition. It is the discovery of what ambition should have been aiming toward all along, which is connection, meaning, and peace, rather than simply staying in motion. Sign number 4. You have learned that saying no is a complete sentence. There was a time when saying no felt like it required an explanation, an apology, or a list of justifications long enough to satisfy everyone else's expectations. Perhaps you remember agreeing to things you did not want to do, simply because refusing felt ruder than exhausting yourself. But now, if you can decline something simply because it does not serve you, without guilt following you around for the rest of the day, that is wisdom, quietly protecting your peace. You have learned that your time and your energy are not limitless resources meant to be handed out to whoever asks first. Every year you have lived has taught you a little more about which commitments actually nourish you, and which ones quietly drain you long after the moment has passed. Saying no to the wrong things is often what makes room for the right things. the people, the rest, and the moments that truly deserve your attention. This kind of clarity rarely comes early in life. It arrives only after enough years of learning the cost of always saying yes and realizing that constant agreement was never the same thing as kindness. Now, when you say no, it is not out of bitterness or withdrawal. It comes from a settled understanding that your peace deserves protecting just as much as anyone else's request deserves consideration. And that quiet confidence, the ability to close a door gently without needing to defend it, is one of the truest signs that wisdom has taken root. Sign number 5. You no longer measure friendship by how many people you know. In younger years, a full room and a long list of acquaintances might have felt like proof of a rich life. Perhaps you once believed that being surrounded by many people meant you were valued, or that a calendar full of gatherings meant your life was full. But now, if you find yourself treasuring one honest phone call more than a crowd of polite small talk, that shift reveals something meaningful. You have learned that a single person who truly listens is worth more than 100 who simply nod along without really hearing you. Quality has quietly replaced quantity in your heart, and you no longer feel the need to explain that choice to anyone. There is a certain peace in realizing that you do not need to keep up with every acquaintance, attend every gathering, or maintain every connection just to feel complete. What matters now is depth, the kind of friendship where silence is comfortable and honesty is welcome. This is one of the clearest signs that your understanding of connection has deepened with time rather than faded with it. You have come to see that a life rich in meaningful bonds, even if there are only a few of them, will always outweigh a life crowded with people who never truly knew you at all. Sign number 6. You trust your own voice more than outside noise. For years, opinions from magazines, experts, or even well-meaning family members might have shaped many of your decisions, sometimes more than your own instincts did. Perhaps there were seasons when you second-guessed yourself simply because someone with a confident voice suggested a different path. But now, if your own quiet inner sense of what is right for you carries more weight than any outside voice, that is wisdom fully awakened. You have lived long enough to see trends come and go, advice contradict itself, and certainty shift from one decade to the next, only to circle back around again. What has remained steady through all of it is your own judgment, sharpened by real experience, rather than borrowed opinions or passing fashions. You have learned to listen politely to what others suggest, and then quietly return to what you already know, deep down to be true for your own life. This is perhaps the clearest sign of all, that wisdom is not something you are waiting to receive from someone wiser or more educated. It is something you already carry, built patiently through every decision you made and every lesson those decisions taught you. And that inner steadiness, the ability to trust yourself even when the world grows loud, is perhaps the quietest and most powerful form of wisdom there is. If these truths have quietly settled into your heart over the years, then please know that this is not a small accomplishment. It is the quiet reward of a life fully lived, a life that paid attention, that learned, and that grew wiser with every passing season. You do not need anyone else's approval to know that your instincts, your patience, and your peace have all been earned the hard way. So carry that wisdom forward, gently and proudly. And if this message reached your heart today, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the Wisdom Vault, because more gentle reminders like this one are on the way for you.